Welcome one and all. My name is Greg Mackling. Monday through Friday, I am co-host of The Start on CJOB Radio, just double checking my notes here, with my partner in crime, Brett McGarry. And tonight I am in this room as a proud member of the board of the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame Museum. By the way, Dad, it's official. It's on the website now, just so you know. I'm your MC this evening because our usual MC is entering the hall tonight. I am humbled and honored to be amongst you this evening. Since 1985, the hockey community has gathered to recognize the accomplishments of Manitoba's players, coaches, builders, and teams at the international, national, provincial, and local levels throughout the illustrious history of the sport in our province. It's my honor to help guide tonight's celebration. So I want to thank the members of the Dakota Collegiate High School Band and teacher Darren Ritchie for their presence and their entertainment tonight. Thank you to our piper tonight, Maureen McFarland. Maureen, thank you so very much. And as we gather, it's important to acknowledge that we are here gathered on the ancestral lands of Treaty 1 territory. These lands are the heartland of the Métis people. And of course, as we drink this and eat this wonderful food and beverage, it's important we acknowledge that our water is sourced from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation. To bring greetings on behalf of the board of directors, please welcome a gentleman who grew up not too far from where we're standing. He played 244 games in the National Hockey League with Hartford and Minnesota before playing his final 24 games of his NHL career with the Winnipeg Jets. My Isaac Brock math tells me that's 268 NHL games. He was inducted into the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame in 2005. Please welcome to the stage West End legend, President of the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame Museum Board, Jordy Douglas.
Good evening. My name is Jordy Douglas. I am president of the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame and Museum, and it is truly my pleasure to welcome you all here tonight as we officially induct the class of 2024 into the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame. On behalf of our board of directors, I congratulate this honored class of inductees. They are most deserving individuals and teams that are being recognized for their outstanding contributions to hockey here at home, abroad, and nationally. We are pleased to add their names to the Hall of Fame's distinguished list of players, builders, officials, media, and champions. This year's inductees represent part of the rich hockey heritage we have in Manitoba. We look forward to our ongoing selections into the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame and invite everyone to participate in the nomination process. Our new streamlined nomination forms will soon be available on our website, and we encourage everyone interested in making a nomination to do so. The Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame and Museum is an incorporated, nonprofit, volunteer organization dedicated to Manitoba's hockey heritage, past, present, and future. As well, we do have charitable status, so all donations would be tax deductible and would be greatly appreciated. And the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame has been very busy this last year. On December 20th, in keeping with our mission statement, we celebrated Manitoba Hockey Heritage Day, as the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame initiated our first Veterans Induction Luncheon. This province has a long history of hockey success, and remember, our nominations have primarily come from the public. Many players and teams have simply been overlooked, but we don't want them to be forgotten. The Veterans Luncheon will continue to be held every off year to our gala induction dinner. So our next one will be December of 2025. In addition to recognizing the contribution of tonight's inductees, the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame continues to support the hockey community through our post-secondary scholarship programs, the Hockey Heritage Program, continued improvements and maintenance at our museum at the Scotiabank Hockey for Life Center, all the while continuing our research and selection process for our class of inductions. The Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame has recently been tasked by Parks Canada and the Canadian Historic Sites and Monuments Board to find a home for a bronze plaque commemorating the Canada-Russia Summit Series game that was played here in September of 1972. A home for that plaque will be announced very soon. In partnership with Sigvits and Northern, our Hockey Heritage Program donated $10,000 to the East Selkirk Recreation Center for restoration and improvements to their arena. Working with the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame, we found a new home for the 1920 Olympic gold medal champion Winnipeg Falcons display. It's now housed, fittingly, at the New Iceland Heritage Museum in Gimli. If you are ever in the Gimli area, stop in and visit this wonderful display. I would also encourage you to visit our Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame Museum located on the second floor at Scotiabank Hockey for All Center. You can check out our display featuring memorabilia, videos, and especially see all of our inductees' plaques on the walls, soon to include tonight's inductees. Visit our website, please, to see our great oral histories, our videos, articles, and photo galleries. And go to our YouTube channel where you can watch an excellent documentary on the history, province's hockey history, and can see all of our inductees' vignettes, of which you will see them all tonight, and they are fun and are powerful. One last mention. Tonight, we will be inducting our first ever grassroots recipient. We've been wanting to recognize for some time those Manitobans whose volunteer efforts impacted the game of hockey by helping to develop, promote, and grow the game in their own communities. I do believe we all know of those unsung heroes out there working behind the scenes. If you know of one, please consider making a nomination for consideration into our next class in 2026. I'd like to personally thank my board of directors for all that they do in making our work fun and successful. And to everyone in attendance tonight, thank you. Your support continues to help build a bright future for hockey in Manitoba while recognizing our rich hockey history. Enjoy your evening.
Our first inductee in the 2024 class of the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame, Lori Lingrell.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame, and to my fellow inductees. A lot of them are over here. It is indeed a great honor to be here tonight and to have been selected to the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame as an inductee in the player division. I would like to thank everyone who has helped make this possible. This is a terrific night. To handle a large group like this takes a lot of organization. They did a great job. I'm starting to sound like I'd like to thank everyone who has helped make this possible. My parents, Henry and Blanche Langrell, my family wife, Shirley, my daughter, and her husband, Mike, and their sons, Brennan and Jesse. They're all here tonight. and my sons Kevin and Paul. Also to all the coaches who helped me along the way, and there were many. Hockey has been very good to me. It allowed me to travel to many places around the world. Taught me important life lessons and helped form many lifelong friendships. The highlight of my hockey career were the years playing with the Winnipeg Braves and winning the 1959 Memorial Cup Championship. I am very appreciative of the work of team manager Bill Addison and coach Bill Allen. In 2014, the Braves were inducted into the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame. Thank you again for this honor. It has been a special and memorable evening. Thank you.
Well, within the timelines, hint, Shane 90. Shane came a long way to be here tonight, and we look forward to his words in not too long from now. But our next inductee is an official, or was an official. And as an official, job one is to get the call right. Job 1B is to stay the hell out of the way. Now, job 1B isn't always possible. And once upon a time, our inductee found himself on the wrong side of a player interaction. He lay horizontal on the ice as the player he made contact with, or vice versa, continued up the ice and put the puck into the net. He remained flat out on the ice, but did his profession proud and still managed to extend his arm when the puck crossed the goal line. I am not lying down on the stage, dude. Act that out. Please welcome to the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame, Harvey Bolton.
Thank you.
It's like now modern days, you gotta remember to put on. Everybody can hear you.
Thank you,
I'm
everybody.
nervous you wrote a book.
I did.
With you.
I did a book given to me by my son, who writes everything down and told me to do that. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you to the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame for this incredible honor. For being inducted, and congratulations to all of the other nominees this evening. To follow a legend such as I am is tough and incredible thing. First and foremost, I want to recognize a couple people who are responsible for my selection, for presenting my name. First of all, to Mr. Ian Heather, a great friend and wonderful friend, and those of you, especially from around this area, know that for the last number of years, not much has happened in the officiating program in this province that they had Ian and his entire family haven't had a part in. So thank you, Ian. To my good friend, Mr. Ryan Galloway, who is one of the most dedicated officials this province has had in a lot of years, and one of the classiest guys that I've ever met. Thank you, Ryan, for what you and Ian did for me. And there were a number of other people who submitted letters and sent my name in from Hockey Manitoba, Peter Wood and Ken Gladden from Norman, Flin Flon Minor Hockey, who have supported me incredibly. And I want to recognize a friend who's traveled with me for the many years that I've been around in Norman, Mr. Tom Sims, who's with myself and my wife and our family tonight. Thanks, Tom. I did become an official because I went to the rink to watch my dad in the Whitney Forum, and as we saw in the vignette a little bit earlier, I'm proud to be part of the group that grew up in the arena in Flin Flon, and certainly watched some of the best hockey played in Canada in that rink, and I'm proud to be from there. My dad, Len, and my mom, Babe, took me to that rink and explained to me and my brothers and our families that when hockey does stuff for us, we have to put back into the game, and putting back into the game has given me so many great memories and great privileges, experiences, and friendships that are gonna last me a lifetime. To those members of my family, my wife, my kids, my brothers, their wives, the whole family came from Flin Flon and Calgary and Saskatoon and Red Deer and everywhere in between. To be here tonight to share with me makes it very special. My son Michael, my daughter Melissa, who had to put up with their dad being the referee in Flin Flon, who had to listen to their kids, to their friends complain when they went to the school the day after a game. Thank you very much. To my wife, who didn't often come to the rink to watch me referee, but supported me incredibly. She came to the rink a couple of times, was spit on by a fan while I was doing a game. Had to put up with, while we were out for the evening, having people and fans come and complain about a game that had happened 6 months or 7 months previous to that. But without her putting together this evening and making sure our family was here with us, for everything she's done over so many years, making the good times better and helping us and our family get through any tough times we had, I wouldn't be here without her. And so I love you all. I've always hoped for my referee friends out there, and there's so many that, you know, what I've done, I've got so much personal satisfaction of, and I've hoped at the end of the day, you know, somebody would say I contributed or helped them out or supported, and this honor means that maybe I did something right, and I'm so humbled and so honored. And we'd just like to thank everybody who's been a part of it. Thank you again to the Hockey Hall of Fame for making this evening such an incredible event. And I look forward to a couple weeks from now, doing a couple level 1 and level 2 referee clinics in the north, and hope that I can help more young officials gain the experience and get that drive to put back into the program and have great memories and experiences like I did. Thank you all very much.
Harvey Bolton. Thank you, Mr. Bolton, and thanks to all the on-ice, all the off-ice officials who make the game possible. I know sometimes that your efforts seem as though they are not appreciated, but let me tell you, they are very much so. Inductee is well known for his love of Johnny Cash, June Carter, Sons of the Pioneers, and wine-dipped Colts. Our inductee would recruit cheap, some might suggest unpaid and unskilled labor from his teams in the off-season to assist in the painstaking work of clearing land and building his cabins at Lake of the Woods. I assure you, sir, statute of limitations are in full effect here. No problems. Let's welcome our latest and next inductee into the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame, Jack McKenzie.
Firstly, I want to express my thanks to the directors of the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame for selecting me to be added to their hall in the builder category. Looking at the small number of individuals you have recognized in the past in this category just makes my surprise that much more having been selected. I understand a group of former players who benefit by having the Manitoba Major Junior Hockey League to play in ought to be thanked as well. One of the individuals I want to thank particularly is Kevin Croft. Kevin is, in spite of his living in Bend, Oregon, and yes, it's hard to find on the map, but it is there. He helped organize a group of former players, all of whom played with one of the league's founding teams, the River Heights Cardinals. They brought to the attention of the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame my involvement in getting the MJHL started over 54 years ago. We must have done something correctly because here we are almost 55 years later and the league is still flourishing. As you heard in the propaganda, those not familiar with the MJHL, it's made up of 10 teams, basically from in and around Winnipeg. In conclusion, I want to recognize a couple of other individuals in the audience who are here tonight at their own expense and made the trip to Winnipeg to help celebrate this momentous occasion. All of them played for or were directly involved with the River Heights Cardinals. Kevin from Oregon, Steve Tudhill from Vancouver, and Gordon Marks from Kitchener. I also want to thank my family and friends for attending tonight's celebration in support of my induction. The honor is very special and I appreciate the effort of all who contributed to making it a reality. And I promised that I'd get this thing over with within 3 minutes.
Out at Lake of the Woods? Absolutely, it says. Airbnb or, no? Okay. So our next inductee will be the very first member of the Hall's newly created grassroots category. I admitted earlier that this is probably my favorite category. I'm so heartened to know that this is taking place and this has been created. This category will recognize the efforts of those who made playing the game of hockey possible in their community. Let's take a short trip up Highway 6 and honor the dedication of Lauren Cabrat.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to sincerely thank the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame for adding this new grassroots category. It really is at the roots where it begins. Although he is not here with us in physical form, I know he is in spirit. I would also like to give a special thank you to Jim Stevenson for nominating my dad, Laurent Cabrat, for this wonderful award. It is certainly one of the most meaningful and personal honors I think he would have ever received. My family and I are extremely proud and pleased to be standing here in front of you all today to accept this honor on his behalf. I know he's smiling down with a whiskey in hand. There's no better way to commemorate his honor for all his hard work, efforts, and dedication he put into the hockey community of St. Laurent and its surrounding towns within the Interlake. I would also like to thank all those that have helped get him to this point along the way. The ones who also volunteered and contributed their time and their efforts, no matter how short or how long that time may have been over his 35 plus years of contributions, by helping him with coaching, with reffing, with running the canteen, organizing tournaments, scheduling practices and games, keeping the arena running, and for making hockey in St. Laurent available to all those that wanted to play, even if it was just a childhood dream to some. The person I know he'd want to thank the most is his partner and wife, my mother, Barbara Cabrat. Without her by his side and being patient, he wouldn't have been able to accomplish or volunteer the amount of time he did, and not to mention the amount of nights he spent sleeping on the couch in the office, at the arena, while waiting for the ice to freeze, just so he can get up 2 hours later and flood it all over again. St. Laurent is a small town that was late in the game, for many years only had natural ice. There is a saying how it takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a very special kind of person who's willing to stand alone because of their vision, because of their heart, and because of their passion for the sport of hockey. Whose dedication and leadership ensured that no child would go without being able to play. My father was that man. He didn't just create our family to be a hockey family. He created a hockey community within the town of St. Laurent and its surrounding communities. He created opportunities not just for boys, but for girls too to play hockey during a time when there were very few girls involved in hockey, particularly in the rural communities. For that, I know I am truly and beyond grateful and proud, as many of you are here today. And for those whom are not here with us, but whom have been fortunate enough to have had Laurent as a father, a son, a brother, an uncle, a grandpa, a coach, a referee, a mentor, a friend, and a partner in life, or even just for knowing him in the world of hockey. So once again, thank you for this incredible honor that is now also part of his legacy. I'd also like to congratulate all the other incredible inductees and their achievements. Congratulations, and thank you.
Inductees now, hey? Wow, well done, Cindy. Thank you. What an incredible story. All the vignettes that you're seeing tonight, beautifully produced, and once again, shout out to Joello for voicing them. They're all available on our website, at mbhockeyhalloffame.ca. You can go there, you can see the videos, you can see vignettes of past inductees, and you can also nominate some skating in natural ice of a different sort. In the ditches outside of Transcona, Manitoba, east of the city. When it was announced that this individual was going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame a few months ago, he brought his dad here. They were just going for lunch. It was going to be a big surprise as to what was really going on here. I can remember going to Grand Forks to see this young man play hockey. He was a draft choice of the Winnipeg Jets, watching him play in the old Ralph. We were so proud to see one of our own down in Grand Forks doing what he was doing. Let's take a look at the career and welcome to the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame, Russ Romanek.
Picture on it. I talked to Jack McKenzie earlier, and he said he would give me the 2 minutes that he didn't use. Clock started. In the spring of 1980, I was a 9-year-old kid, and I drove my bike on a Sunday afternoon in Transcona down to the Roland Michener Arena, and I watched my local heroes, the Transcona Railers, play in the Western Canada Junior B Championship that day. And I paid my $1, and I got in, and I watched right from the ice, and they won the championship that day. And I was so happy. I watched them celebrate on the ice. I stuck around and watched them down the hall and down the stairs, and they're obviously just having a great time. And one of the players noticed me and recognized me and asked me down to the dressing room because I delivered papers to his house, and he knew I was a decent little hockey player. And I got to meet the guys, and I remember the scene, just the tape balls and champagne bottles and beer bottles and orange peels and the stink and the sweat, and the guys were just celebrating, and I was hooked. And that was when I knew what I wanted to do. And as I was leaving, one of the guys gave me his tournament pin, and I rode back home with that pin in my hand, and I just knew that I wanted to be a hockey player. I couldn't have imagined that would lead me here today. to this podium. Along the way on my hockey journey, I got to do a lot of cool things. I got to play my minor and junior hockey in Winnipeg. I still see some teammates and opponents tonight. Along the way, I received a scholarship and got to play college hockey at University of North Dakota. I got to be drafted and play for my hometown Jets. And along the way, even play for my hometown Moose. Along the way, I got to travel the world, live in some great cities. Along the way, I got to play with the best players in the world and against them, meet some great people, and make lifelong friends. Luckily though, also along the way, I learned that just because I played hockey, it didn't mean, that I was smarter or more important or better than anybody. I played hockey. Just because I played hockey meant to me that was just a cool job as a kid. There's so many hundreds of current members that deserve recognition, but I do want to take a minute to recognize 3 of them because they've either influenced me or I have a personal connection with them. I just feel it's very important to recognize, those who come before us, and these 3 deserve just a quick mention. And one is the aforementioned 1979-1980 Transcona Railers, who won the championship that year, and they're in the hall. They're a great example of when you take an opportunity to show kindness and inclusiveness, what a profound effect that can have on people in general and kids more specifically, and especially young hockey players like I was at the time. I'd like to recognize and remember Steve Harish. Steve was from the Dauphin area. He spent 60 years with the Dauphin Kings as a player, a coach, a manager, and even a scout with the Detroit Red Wings. He was born in Gilbert Plains, where my family vacationed quite a bit because my dad is from the area, and he's my dad's first cousin. And Steve was inducted in 1992. I'd like to remember Mr. Billy Murray. Billy Murray was a terrific hockey player in the 50s with Dauphin Kings and other teams. He was also elected into the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame. More importantly, he's my buddy Kerry's grandfather. And he was a greenskeeper at the Gilbert Plains Golf Course, where I played golf quite a bit, as I said, on these family trips. Mr. Murray was just the kindest and most humble guy. And he was just a great family man. And he was kind of a third grandpa to me. I am so proud to share a piece of the wall with the Railers, with Steve, with Bill, all the current members, and also this year's new inductees. I'd like to share this with some very important people with me today. And a lot of them are here today, my core of good friends, some of which I've known for 40 years and more. I just want to thank you for your generosity, for your friendship, and I just love that you're here today to celebrate this great event, and I'm very, very happy to share this with you today. I'd like to share this with my brothers and my sister. They sacrificed quite a bit growing up when I was a kid. There was no trips to Disneyland vacations. There was nothing like that. They would really depend on where I was playing hockey, whether it was Portage or Thompson or Thunder Bay or whatever. So not real glamorous places, but, and also they had to put up with always being asked, are you Russ's brother or are you Russ's sister? And I'm sure they didn't like that very much, but I want to let you guys know that I'm very happy when everybody asks me, are you Al's brother? Are you Leanne's brother? Are you Derek's brother? And I'm just so very proud to say that, yes, I am. I'd like to share this with my late mom, who would love to be here today. I know she's looking down from somewhere, but she was also very supportive, always very supportive. Called me in on Saturday nights at 7 o'clock to watch Hockey Night in Canada, together with her dad, my grandpa. Kept stats of all my games, goals and assists, in the most perfect penmanship in her little Hilroy notebook. And just went to all the games, and I just like to think she's looking down, smiling right now, and maybe even ringing that cowbell that she always did when she watched me play. And lastly, I'd like to share this with my dad. My dad is probably my biggest fan, but he never told me. It's okay, Dad. He doesn't say much. I always dreamed of winning the Stanley Cup and being asked on the ice who I'm thinking of at this moment. And I always wanted to say that he was my dad, and that was first on my mind. But I never won the cup, so I guess we're even, Pops. Like every other parent, my dad drove me to all the games and got me ready and sacrificed so much of his time shoveling the outdoor rink, warming my toes underneath his armpits when they were cold, bringing me to Jets games, all the games we could afford and some we couldn't afford. Of course, he would save the $6 parking by parking on Saskatchewan Avenue and having to walk 1.5 miles through the snow. We'd get there for warm-up. He would fake that he had a ticket down, in the 5th or 6th row, and we'd kick some kids out of their seat. And we'd stay till the end of the game. My dad never played organized hockey. He was a very decent skater, but admittedly didn't know much about the game. But he just always provided me with an opportunity to play. And he sacrificed so much of his time. But more importantly, he never pushed me, which in turn never pushed me out of the game that I loved. Pops, you deserve this more than I do, my friend. But I'm glad that we can share this together. In closing, I'd like to thank the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame Committee and the Board of Directors for volunteering their time and for organizing such a special event like this, and of course, for this overwhelmingly incredible distinction. This is truly an honor of a lifetime. Thank you.
Not have Russ Romanek making me cry on my bingo card for tonight. That was outstanding, Russ. And I think so many of us can relate to all the people that you thanked in that speech. Was resonating with so many. Our next inductee, from his patented good morning on the 25 after hour sports to his unmatched work ethic, our next inductee has had a profound impact on the career of yours truly and dozens of other broadcasters across the country. He works relentlessly to ensure that CJOB remains at the pinnacle for sports coverage in any market, for any radio station, anywhere in Canada. His ability to get the job done is made all the more impressive when you learn that one of the things on the long list of Kelly Moore's skills is the hunt and peck typing method, which remains one of his go-to tools of the trade. Please welcome to the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame, the one, the only, Kelly Moore.
I was just checking that block to make sure it was me on there. It was funny. I'm not going to steal the thunder of another inductee because it's an incredible milestone for him tonight. But I went back and double checked. 40 years ago to the day is when I broadcast my first game in the Western Hockey League with the Kamloops Blazers. I still remember they won 3-1 over the Kelowna Wings. I'm going to do something a little bit differently in GMAC. I might just get into the shootout here. I'll try to go as quickly as I can. But I'm going to start rather than wait to thank the people who are most important to me because I want to get the blubbering out of the way early. I'll begin with my wife, Karen, who for 44 plus years has stood by me right from the very start and has been unwavering in her support. If you've heard that song, The Wind Beneath My Wings, well, the lyrics are very appropriate to our partnership. Totally selfless in taking a back seat because of the very public nature of what I do. When people recognize me or they hear that voice, whether we're out to dinner here in Winnipeg shopping, and I kid you not, it has happened in the Dominican Republic, it's happened where we winter in Mexico and Guayabitos, she'll just, hey, you talk hockey, that's what you do, and catch up with me. It may not have seemed like a big deal to you. It meant the world to me. On a home game, it's leave for the rink at about 9:30, walk through the front door at about midnight. A lot of time spent alone, and that doesn't even include the 22 years that I did play-by-play. My voice doesn't normally break like this, but I've caught a bad cold here tonight. 10 years spent riding buses and honing my craft. Also in the cul-de-sac where we lived in Mission with my kid brother and sister, they grew up with me calling play-by-play of our road hockey games. But it also gave me the foundation to position myself for an opportunity to jump to the National Hockey League with CJOB and the Winnipeg Jets. And there were 3 gentlemen in particular who I have to say thank you to from Kamloops who gave me the chance. I was totally untested. Their names are Robbie Dunn, Jim Swetlako, and Jim Harrison. They were so supportive of me, and so were Ralph Warrington, Garth Butchko, Bob Irving, and Vic Grant, once they decided I would be the privileged person to follow in the footsteps of Kurt Keelback. Knuckles, you have no idea of the example you set for me just by being you. And I have done it my darndest to pay it forward with some of the young broadcasters who follow. I consider myself very fortunate to have been able to forge a career in a profession I so deeply love. Some may refer to it as work, but for me it is what I do. And I'll always consider that a privilege. There are a couple of other incredibly important people in my life now that I've gotten over the blubbering. My daughters, Lindsay and Chelsea. Our daughters, Lindsay and Chelsea. There were, and anybody that's involved in hockey knows the missed birthday parties, the events, the school concerts. I don't ever remember them uttering a complaint. Maybe it's because there wasn't any corny dad jokes at those. During hockey season, we made sure to maximize the time that we did have together when we were younger. It was still cool back then to be in the company of a parent. But you know, our quizzes weren't about math or spelling or history. When I was covering the Western Hockey League, Lindsay could rattle off all 21 teams and their nicknames, although the Moose Jaw Warriors and Tri-City Americans sometimes gave her some trouble. At the age of 6, Chelsea could recite the starting batting order of the 1992 Toronto Blue Jays, the World Series champions. I really don't know if much of that knowledge had the slightest impact on their adult or professional lives, but we had a ton of fun. I want to thank you, my home team. I love you, and I cherish playing the role of husband and father for this lineup. We've built quite the franchise too. JJ, Sully, Wellesley, Ludo, Ella, and Lyndon. Grandchildren are the absolute treasure of our lives. I also am very proud to be the father-in-law to Graham and Greg. There are also a very, very special group of people at table 45 who are my teammates at CJOB or on Jets broadcasts. I cannot believe to tell you how much I so appreciate you being here tonight. It means everything to me. I'm just about done, Greg. I'm humbled beyond words to be chosen to be part of this class of 2024. I mean, I don't have a lick of talent when it comes to hockey. If I'd had a fraction of what the Walkers, the Ryan Regals, the Langrells, the Romanuts, the Maxwells, Westcotts and 90s, well, maybe I might have been able to at least grab a stick. And then there's the guys here tonight that are representing the Southeast Prairie Thunder and the Cartwright Clippers. I enjoyed a number of great times with Wayne Discower on the softball diamond, in the hockey arenas. I know what an incredible commitment that he had to the game. I've crossed paths a few times with Jack McKenzie at the the Double M JHL banquets and know what he has done. You look at the resumes of Harvey Bolton and Paul Kristanowicz, two men who gave and continue to give so much to this great game. You know, I didn't ever have the pleasure of meeting Laurent Kerbrat, but after hearing his story and hearing his daughter Cindy, holy smokes, I would have loved to have had a beer with that man. Big dude. To join a category that includes Fryer, Cactus Jack, Matty, Saad, the incomparable Don Whitman, who I had the great fortune of broadcasting games with the Jets 1.0, Scotto, my former boss, Vic Grant, based on the place those names hold in Manitoba